Okay, so I finally got this in-tank pump unit all set up and ready to go with a new Delphi pump here. I will put the actual pump number in the description, but I'll also show you here, FE0484. And the filter, I had to do some digging and looking around. The one I went with is FS0068. It's a 19 millimeter inlet on the pump, and that's what I needed for this. Did a little digging, this is what I need, and it looks about perfect for this. So wired it all up, tested this first with like a cup of non-ethanol fuel just to test it. Also got the external fuel pump assembly, pressure accumulator and filter, everything tightened down, all the hoses in place, hose clamps, and I tested that too with gas, and everything is working perfect, no leaking that I can see. I also came in here and blew out the actual main fuel line. This is that fuel line that goes underneath the car. Really, I just did it by putting the hose on and then blowing into the hose multiple times with, sorry, it's dark, the main fuel line unscrewed and then all the way out, and it blew it clean. It's clear, so we're good to go. All I need to do now is put this in with a new O-ring, put the sending unit in, put it in the tank, put the tanks up, mount everything up, and give it a shot. I got the sending unit all the way down there, and it left me about a gap like this on the top here, meaning this filter was bottoming out down there. I took a picture, or took a look at an older picture with the original pump, and if you look here, the original pump is a lot longer, but it did sit technically higher because this would have mounted there. So I can adjust that. What I need to do is take this off, probably cut a little bit of this rubber so I can mount this higher up. So the tanks are all pretty much ready to go with the new connecting pipe under there, under the shield. The original filler neck pipe that will connect here. A new hose there to go back to the fuel pump. A long hose to run in between. It goes in between the frame. And then I will connect this little Y pipe here, that's genuine Mercedes piece, to there, and cut the hose to length and all. So now the fiddling begins of trying to put this up on the car. So I got the tanks up there. They're not all bolted down yet, but got two of the main bolts in. What I did is get the assembly together, slide it underneath the car. I did the first tank first, lifted it up, got it in position, made sure lines weren't pinched, things were where they need to be. Put a jack under one of the ends, started to jack it up, put one bolt right there, got the other end in its place and put another bolt in so I can kind of let this down and go to town and get this thing fully mounted. Alright, so gas is in the car, everything's tightened down, buttoned up, ready to go except for the battery. Got to plug that up and crank her over and see what we get. Let's get to this. Okay, so the fuel pumps work. That's good. I pulled under here the actual fuel pump relay and just jumped it just to get fuel flowing, and yeah, it was coming out of there really well. So I tightened that all down. I'll let this dry out a little bit, make sure everything's safe. Crank it over and let's see what she's got. Oh my gosh! It wants to go. It wants to go. Woo! Come on, baby. Come on, baby. It's there. This is good. So here's part of my issue with the starting the car and it not wanting to stay running. The main fuel line, as you might can see, I have kind of taped up. I was cheap. I should have just bought the dang thing. I thought initially it was leaking from right there, and it looks like it is just because of how it's laying and gravity and all, but I don't think it is. I took this off, put even a second crush washer. I cleaned everything thoroughly. I heated up the washers. I tightened everything down really well, and yet it's still leaking. But as you can see, it's wet back there too. So let's take another look. So it's wet there and it's wet there. One thing at a time. I've narrowed it down. Also, I tried to turn the car on once it ran and then kind of hold it in the on position for a bit, and it did stay running for longer. So there might very well be some wiring issues, which I've already pulled the underside of this to check out, and everything looks solid. I checked the ECU here. So I'm not sure. I'll just have to take some stuff apart. That's the name of the game. All right, I got a new battery in it. I've worked on taping up, for now, the vacuum lines from the manifold to the air slide valve and to the valve cover. Everything's back together. Let's see if it'll start again. I hate that buzzer, man, that's annoying. Turn it, climb it. That's the quickest and nicest it's ever sounded. I'm a little bit shocked at the moment. I'm gonna let it run. That sounds really pretty good. Okay. So I've had it running twice before, but this is the first time it's ran this nicely. .82 volts. Oh my gosh, I'm thrilled. I'm just going to let it idle for a while. Let's do a little walk around. Getting smoky. I'm so thrilled right now. So what I had to do, this valve cover, that line that goes into the manifold, that block piece, taped up some things. That other end was awful to get it on. I had to take the whole thing off. Let's see if it stays running. It's definitely slowing down now, which may be a good thing because it's supposed to do that when it gets warm. But it's getting a little stuttery now. Let's hit the gas pedal and see what it does. Woo! Backfire. Yeah, none of the tack works or anything. Okay, so when I push the gas pedal past maybe that, it wanted to die. Starting to smoke. This is what it did for me last time, kind of. It's definitely leaking oil. Well, after blowing out the engine, revving it up, getting it nice and warm, it's pretty much at operating temperature, and listen to this thing. I have not changed the oil. I've not changed any of the belts. I just put a little new reconditioned battery. I cleaned the fuel injectors, pulled them out, fixed a vacuum leak, cleaned out the air slide valve, or also called like an idle air control valve, and it sounds great. It sounds great. I'm absolutely thrilled right now. I'm gonna rev it up for you. Actually, I'll do it maybe here. Right back to a nice smooth idle. Guys, this car has 253,000 miles on this thing. I'm so elated right now. There is something so good about, oh my gosh, getting a car running again. I can't explain it. I can't put it into words. When something's not right and I'm like done for the day and I'm inside, I'm like mad and sad and disappointed. But when I finally fix it and it runs like this, I'm over the moon excited. Wow. Well, guys, stay tuned for more. I will definitely be diving into this car a lot more. As you maybe remember, I have all this rust to repair, and that's kind of daunting. But this is what I needed to see and hear to have the motivation to finish that, because if this was all bad, well, I'm not sure I would have finished the whole car. But now that I hear this like it is right now, I'm thrilled. Let's get to work.